Yeah.
We are live. I am Justin, also known as the DIY Audio Guy. And with me, as always, is my partner in crime, Nick from Toys DIY Audio. Say hi, Nick.
Hi, Nick. Now, guys, that's really exciting. I'm so excited to be here. So this is our last stream, right?
This is not our last stream. It's our last stream for 2021.
Good clarification.
No, this is not the end of the run, as far as I'm aware.
No.
Who all do we have in the chat today? I see we have 25 Hertz to Life. We have our good friend Robbie Hanson. We have Andy from Living Loud with Andy.
Yeah,
Alpha Wago is here. Who else have we got? If you're in the chat, say hi to
here. That's good. Robbie was just doing some work. He got some new tools. Have you seen? He got those new Flex Volt tools from Lowe's. You seen those?
Oh, those are the ones where you can do multiple different voltages, right? Is that Lowe's brand or is that the DeWalt?
No, I don't know. It's not the DeWalt 60 volt ones that you're thinking of. They're like a gray and black. They're supposed to be really, really good. He got them and he said he loves them. So
say hi to everybody here. See you all's here. Get Some is here. 25 Hertz to Life. Liquid Dragon 86. That's a new name to the stream. I've never seen that one pop up before. Welcome to the stream, Liquid Dragon 86. Ivan, last name I'm not going to try to pronounce because it looks like you're a Russian mob and I don't want to piss you off by saying your name wrong. Hello, Sam. I don't think I've seen Sam in the chat before, so I don't know who Got Earplugs is, but that's a clever screen name. I like that a lot. Hello from Cincinnati, he says.
You know what? I called them Flex Volt, and they're not called. They're just Flex. You're right. DeWalt is Flex Volt.
Okay.
So that's where the confusion was.
Flex. Tell me about the Flex brand. This is a new one on me because
I'll share the screen. I don't know much about it. I really don't. Yeah.
Oh, I see that you've popped the ad to the screen. Yes. This is the Den of Tools did a series on this, and this is a brand that's apparently popular in Europe.
Really?
And the company is Flex, I think.
Yeah, the company's Flex. They use 24 volt, which is always nice. And supposedly they get more power. Well, 20% more power. I think they're just doing it compared to a 20 volt. So a 20 volt, that's 20% more.
Right.
More volts. So I like the faster charging. That's always a nice thing to have.
Oh yeah, fast charging is always a good thing.
Oh, TVOR, man, good to see you here, bro. I really want to give him special props for this year because he has been so instrumental. He is such a great. He's always here for us, and he is always on the forum giving out fantastic advice. I really appreciate True Voice Reason. Flex also Cobalt. I don't know. Is Flex made by Cobalt?
All these tools are made by the same few people.
That's true.
Right.
Oh, hey, I want to tell you this before we get too started into like the wrap up. I found something out today. You know how one of the things that we've been very interested in was what is it? Now I'm losing my train of thought. But hold on. Now
while you're getting your train of thought back, let me answer Michael Day's question. Okay. What's a better ground, running from front to back or drilling into the back of the frame? The conventional wisdom has always been that grounding to the frame is the best choice, but that doesn't always work because sometimes you've got these, crappy welds and stuff like that between your car body and back to where the engine is grounded. So it's going to depend on the car. My old pickup truck, I can ground any damn thing on that and it's all metal, so it works.
So I was going to say, I watched that video on Hi-Fi Vegas. That was pretty funny. They're basically the same wire cutters, just branded differently. But so Onkyo and Pioneer Elite, which are owned by the same company,
yes,
have recently on their highest end versions added Dirac Live.
Oh,
room correction software. Yeah,
really, on the high end stuff.
Well, I mean, it depends on what you consider high end, but on their like $1,400 plus receivers, basically.
$1,400 receiver. That's no small.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, an entry level receiver can run you, 3, 4, 5, $600.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on if it's 7.1 or whatever the case may be.
I mean, it's definitely not entry level, but I mean, seeing that Dirac Live is starting to come to those, like that's pretty cool.
So Mini DSP has their 8 to 12 DSP, and you can get that one with Dirac. It's like the one with Dirac's like $900.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm saying,
right,
like, for $1,400. So for $500 more, you get an entire processor, receiver, everything. Yeah.
And they also
and amplifiers, and
they also sell an amp that's like a 40 watt per channel car amplifier. Mini DSP does with Dirac, a 40 watt per channel, like an 8-channel amplifier. That's kind of cool. I've been drooling over that lately. That might be my Christmas gift to me.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. I like seeing that this Dirac Live, because Dirac Live is supposed to be a game changer for home theater. So I have not used it in home theater yet. But
how long before the prices come down to where they're more reasonable, or where they always keep that for the high end? Who knows?
You know what's going to happen? This is what happens every time. What they'll do is they'll send you something vanilla out, right? Like a vanilla version of Dirac Live, like Dirac Live Lite, and then it'll be on everything. And then everyone's going to be like, Dirac Live's not really that good. And you're like, well, that's because you don't actually have Dirac Live. You have Dirac Live Lite, which is like not even half of what the real Dirac Live. They do it in everything, and it's
right. Well, I wanted to do the show tonight something a little bit different. I wanted to use this to kind of recap the year. It's before Christmas, so we don't usually talk about the recaps of the year till after Christmas, but we're not going to do an after Christmas show.
No.
Working heat. Yeah, you got to have working heat. We're going to do, this will be our last show for the year. We'll take off for the holidays for the next 2 weeks. We'll be back into it in January. And I wanted to just say, hey, let's have a show where we talk about what all we accomplished. So I have a question for the chat. Guys down in the chat, tell us something that you accomplished in the last year, something you built, something you're really proud of, something that you've done in the last year that you'd like to kind of brag about. And if you'll put like hashtag brag or something like that, and we'll throw it up on the screen and see what y'all did the last year that y'all are proud of.
And also, if I might ask, if you have a favorite video of either mine or Justin's from this year, I would be interested to know what they were.
As would I.
Yeah, yes. I'd be interested. I mean, I don't know if you have any, but if so, that'd be kind of cool. Locust Super Cap. Oh, that's kind of
what
nice.
Is a? Ooh, that sounds sexy. What is a Locust Super Cap?
Well, I'm assuming it's a super capacitor. Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, it's for his car.
Well, I'm gonna brag a little bit. I've had a much better year than I thought I was ever going to have on my YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. I had about 3,000 or 4,000 subscribers at the end of 2020, and I thought I'll probably double that in the next year. But I added 21,300 subscribers so far in 2021. Just passed 26,000 subscribers yesterday, I think it was. So I've had a good year.
By the way, I think that's actually an I. It's Iocus Super Cap.
Ah.
So Robbie's saying that because he came over to my house and we built him some killer subs. So we built him some 15-inch HO Dayton Audio high output subwoofers for his home theater, and they're pretty awesome.
Chicken Pimp says he didn't die this year. That is an accomplishment. Every year that you don't die is a good year. Anytime you're on this side of the ground, it's good. Yes. 25 Hertz to Life built a relay system that turns on 6 different things. That's cool. I would like to do that.
That's really cool.
Flexin 500. Successfully running an 8K and a 200.4 on an 80 amp alternator. And a Group 27 AGM and excess power Titanate. Well, I'm glad to know that you can run that much power just with an AGM battery and a one of those Titanate batteries. That's pretty good.
So I'm wondering, do you think that's a Ford 500 he's flexing?
Probably so. I'm assuming so. I like Ford 500s. I'd like to have one.
I like those. I liked them. They had a lot of them were all-wheel drive, which I liked. Deviant for Life actually said something too.
Yes, yes. He successfully installed a generator, built a shed for the generator, rescued a tortoise, built him and Beardy a new enclosure. There you go. That's awesome.
No, that is cool. I like that, especially putting a generator. That's kind of nice. Now, Get Some actually said what he thought our favorite videos were. I'm
right.
Your Bandpass
Killers.
Boxsmith. Yeah, well, your Bandpass Boxsmith too.
Yeah, that one did really well. That one was a big hit. That was actually the video that kind of, I don't know, put me on the map, if I'm even on the map.
I'm glad he liked the Bose Killers. I'd be interested in what he liked about those, because that was a fun little build. They were they're pretty little boxes too. In fact, I put them in my Patreon garage sale. No one bought them. I was like, okay. So I gave them away. I'm giving them away to a friend, I should say.
So you had a Ford 500. I was thinking a Ford Flex. A Ford Flex, the kind of SUV thing. The 500, the Ford Taurus was briefly named the 500 for a year or two.
Yeah, it was a little bigger than the Taurus, I believe. And it was.
I think it was.
A lot of them were all-wheel drive, which I liked, because if you live up north, I mean, it's not a real, it's not the same thing as four-wheel drive, but Robbie's the one getting them. Yes, I wasn't going to say it, but he's going to put them in his camper for surround sound for his camper.
RVH says he managed to avoid the COVID for the year. That's a winner right there.
That is.
The Bearded Dragons put on 2 pounds. I don't know if that's something to brag about, but I guess so.
Officially, he said cutter, but I'm thinking he means cuter. Yeah.
So Nick, tell me, did you have a chance to look at your channel stats before you jumped on the show? I know you had a busy night tonight and Nick jumped in like 2 minutes before I started the stream. So
true. I had some, I had some crazy stuff going on, but, I didn't. I had a good year. I really have been appreciative of everyone that's going on. One of the biggest things is being able to start selling plans and seeing what people think of the plans afterwards. It's been really cool to see that. And that's really taken off. And I love seeing what other people do with those plans, because they I mean, a lot of times it's much better than even the ones I built. Like, as far as looking, like it looks, they do a beautiful job on them. And, just hearing how much people like them is it's been really cool for me.
I did look up some stats before the show, because I'm a stats kind of guy. I like looking up numbers. I see my most viewed video was the Bandpass subwoofer video. That one has had 251,000 views. That one alone.
You're thirsty today, huh?
Yeah. I've got my kicker koozie here, so I'm enjoying something. Hey, El Fuego says he finished a nice test bench that he started in 2019.
Nice.
He's going to tear it apart in January when he moves.
Jeez, that's
RVH got a new puppy, a new border collie. I think I've seen. Are you going to be? You're doing frisbee with that one, I think. So I think I've seen some pictures of that on the interwebs.
Well, I will say that one of the ones that surprised. You know how we always have a video that surprises us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the video that surprised me the most was the ISO 100, what I called the mega earthquake, the ISO 100, which was those 4 GRS subwoofers. And I labeled it the best subwoofer for under $100, which I still think it might be one of the most powerful subwoofers for under $100, if not one of the best ones. But like that video surprised me, because it was literally parts that I bought for a build that I was building for a guy who backed out because COVID hit and we couldn't get some of the parts in. So he backed out of the deal, and I was stuck with these woofers. I'm like, what can I do with them? And then I made this video, and I gotta say, man, and it came out much better than I expected, and other people have built it and really enjoy it for the price. It's just a really fun.
I remember it took you a while to get that one built and edited. Were you laughing at this comment here, 25 Hertz to Life?
Yes, I was. Exactly that one. Yep.
Yeah. Would that big box fit in any car? I mean, it's huge.
Hey, look at that. Joaquin.
Joaquin Juarez, thank you so much for the super chat. Those super chats make a huge difference. And after YouTube gets their cut, it might be enough for one beer.
Hey, maybe in a Ford Flex.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that 15 would fit in a Ford Flex. I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It probably would. I think it had a big trunk.
But I think people were surprised at what you could do with the $20 silver. So that was probably my most surprising video. You had a really surprising video for yourself too. I remember.
Which one was that?
Well, it was the Hoffman's Rule. You didn't think that one was going to do very good, and it did much better than you thought.
Yeah, the Hoffman one did really well. It's had probably close to 50,000 views so far. And I didn't know if it would do well. There's only like 2 other videos on Hoffman's Iron Law. In both those videos, the YouTuber spelled the guy's name wrong. And so the Hoffman video was great. It did really well, was very well received. It wasn't the biggest surprise of my year because that was the Bandpass video, but the Hoffman video did great. I was really happy with that one. And it was a fun video to make because I started researching this Hoffman guy. I feel like I'm doing all the talking, Nick. Tell me to shut up if I'm talking too much.
No, I'm listening. I'm enjoying it.
I started researching this Hoffman guy, and in the act of researching him, I also did a little bit of research on his father. His father was a child prodigy piano player. And he was from, I forget where in Europe, but moved to Germany so he could have a chance to kind of have a professional career as a pianist, and then moved to the United States.
This is a kids friendly show, okay?
Yes, that's right. It is.
Yes.
And then Hoffman himself was, the younger, was born in the U.S. During, I guess he was old enough to be in college while we were starting off the Manhattan Project, and so he went and worked on the Manhattan Project.
That's pretty cool.
Flexin 500 says, speaking of Hoffman's Iron Law, I'm getting to increase my box for my 15s from 7.1 to 9.
There we go. He's using it right there.
That'll make it louder. Pretty much certain it will.
Geez. David said he's laughing at me. Me and him were talking. I actually told him that I'd be happy to help him work on some crossovers if he wanted to design some. So, and I'm always willing to do that, especially on the on the forum and stuff, but you got to have some test equipment, because if you don't have test equipment, I can't do much without it. So I got a question for you.
Yes.
What was your favorite build of the year? Because you did a lot of builds.
I sat down and counted them all up. And it's hard to say because there are several that I really enjoyed working on. And I think my 2 favorite were probably the one I made kind of at the tail end of the year that I did a project with one of my patrons, was the American bass subwoofer with the precision ports.
Oh yeah.
And it's the ports is what made that one great. The woofer was not a bad woofer. I don't think I was giving you near enough power, but those precision ports were awesome, and I really enjoyed the way they turned out, and I think they make the box look great. And the other one that I'm really super proud of was the Kicker Comp R build. I'd never used a Kicker sub before, and I tried some different things. My carpet skills are there's a lot left to be desired there with my carpet skills, but it was fun to build that really big oversized box.
I liked it. I liked both of those, actually. I thought the paint was good on those, and I really liked that American subwoofer too. Just the white on it, like the white basket. I don't know. It's just different.
I sent the driver to a patron, or not the driver, but the enclosure to a patron, and I still have the driver. And what I'd like to do is build it again and use a plexiglass panel, paint the inside of the enclosure white, and have a window so you can look in and see the sub in that nice white basket.
I like that, but plexiglass is so expensive, especially for what because you'd need like what, 1/2 inch at least, right?
I would use 3/4.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like crazy expensive. So, True Voice of Reason asked, what do you think of using PC83 on desktop monitor? That's perfect. I love PC83 in the desktop monitor situation. I made one. There's free plans out there on my website that you can do. But yeah, it's a great one.
What is PC83?
PC83-4. It's a Dayton Audio little 3-inch full range driver. Or 3.5-inch full range driver, but it's fantastic. But you want a subwoofer with it. You're not gonna get like bass out of it. David sent you a super chat.
Yes, I saw that. Thank you, David. I appreciate it a lot. Absolutely. And David's encouraging you all to hit the like button. I noticed earlier before I jumped on the stream, I checked it out in YouTube, and there were like 4 people waiting, and there were 8 likes. And so at that point,
nice.
Thank you. Y'all hit it twice. So.
Yeah, he's been doing some awesome job on Facebook too, repairing amps, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you've seen any of
Excellent.
his stuff that he's been doing, but he's been repairing some amps, which is pretty awesome. Oh, you were gonna ask a question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what was your favorite build that you did this year?
You know,
You said
I've
your
been
big
thinking.
you said your
Go
most surprising one was the 410s in the isobaric, but what was your
ahead. You know, I have so many that I like the Cinema 6 and the Klipsch clones were probably the ones that did the best. But I think really my favorite one though was really the what we call the JBL clones, SRX18. Um, those speakers I designed for a patron. And I think the reason why I like those so much, which they're called the Soundstage 15, is because he was so impressed with them, and still is. I mean, every day, he just talks about how impressed he is on those speakers. And so for me, I think it was that because it was kind of like that cool little build it with him and do it, and then actually see, whenever you get it to the end person and they listen to it and enjoy it, I think that to me makes it. And the video did good as well. I mean, it didn't do. It's not as good as some of my other ones. I think it only got like 66,000 views right now or something like that. But I like that. I've been very happy with that one.
The notorious RVH says he likes the cubes that you built. Were those the Bose busters or beaters, whatever you called them? The
better than Bose.
Yes, better than Bose.
Yeah, I'm curious, RVH, what you liked about them, because I liked those as well, but I'm curious what you liked about them. If you can answer that sometime, that'd be cool.
All right, 25 Hertz to Life, the favorite future video, hooking up the JP8 and the Sundown enclosure. I did get a JP8 and a Sundown enclosure, one of their preloaded profab boxes from Down for Sound. And that's what I was working on this weekend and got held up and didn't quite get everything finished. But I had the opportunity to take that out and do a little test bump. And that thing can handle the power. I'm probably going to feed it a little bit more power and see what else it'll do. So hopefully that video will be out this weekend.
So can I ask you, now that he said that, what videos, like, do you have like something for next year that you want to share? I mean, I'm curious.
So I have I keep a list of things I want to do. And I never get anywhere near all of them. I've got a long list
they call that
of
a bucket list.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I guess I have a bucket list, but I've never managed to even. I keep adding to the list. I know there are some YouTubers who complain I can't come up with ideas for videos. It's all like, really, what is wrong with you? Getting them done is the hard part.
Yes,
I would like to build a set of the Dynas.
Oh,
and I've been thinking about that, and it's like I need to build a set of the Dynas, and I would love to build those JBL clones you were just talking about, or something like that. Because the only home audio project that I did. I guess two. I did a home audio subwoofer and I did the boombox build off, and that's all the home audio stuff I did. And I'm looking at my variety in my channel, thinking, no, I want to add some more home audio to it.
Well, I will hook you up if you want to. So you just let me know, and I will make sure to get you some stuff sent to you. You just tell me what you want, and then I'll get it sent to you. I know people want me to do car audio. I need to try to do some more car audio. I don't know how to implement that as well, because I'm not Justin. Justin is much better at car audio than I am.
I would encourage you to just install an amplifier in the trunk of a car and just start, making subwoofers and swapping them in and out,
Wait, do I need a car for this?
Oh yeah. That would help.
I'm in trouble. So, all right. I will. We'll definitely make that happen. If you want to do one of those, we'll make that happen. Because Joaquin Juarez is building a set of Dynas. He's using the Neo 6.5s only because I bought them years ago, and I'll tell you what, there's nothing wrong with that. People ask, why I didn't use the 6.5s or why I don't build one with. I actually have one designed with 6.5s. That's actually a passive version. I do have one, but the reason why I never really put that out there for people to buy is because. The truth of the matter is the 6.5 and the 5 1/4, as far as frequency response, are almost identical. And so the only thing you're getting is a little bit more bass just by going up to the 6.5, but I don't really feel like you need it, as far as the 5 1/4s are huge. I can use Robbie's car.
So I think my experience with those Ting band drivers, I think I've got the 5 1/4 in the boombox build, and I've got a 6.5 that I just bought and built last year. And yeah, I don't think you need the 6.5. I don't think it adds that much to it. But hey, if you've got it, use it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I have a 6.5. I haven't used it. I used it to design. Those are another thing that I designed for one of my patrons, were the 6.5 dynas. And then he built them, and he goes, I really didn't need the 6.5. Can we do a 5 1/4? I said, yeah. I'm like, I know, but you can do it if you want. I don't care. So let me answer that question that I just asked you, which was, are the boxes the same size? No, they are not working. It's bigger. If you want to contact me later, I can talk to you about it some. What were we talking about? So let me share my screen.
Oh, yes. Share your screen. And
So,
I'll answer Tron Magnum while you're getting your screen up here. So
Yeah.
Tron Magnum mentioned that the kicker prefab with the I forget if that was the pair, the 210s. Yeah, I saw that video. I watch everything Parker puts out because I enjoy his videos. Yeah, that did really well. I'm really pleased with those kicker comp Rs. I think they're great drivers.
when do I expect a video of the dynas with the passive radiators? That's a very good question. I'll answer that later. But I will answer that later. So, are you guys familiar with SB Acoustic?
I'm running SB Acoustics in my doors. My 6.5 in my doors are SB Acoustics.
So SB Acoustic came out with SB Audience. Now, most people are not really familiar with SB Audience because SB Audience is only about 2 years old. SB Audience is their professional line. So they sell like compression drivers. They sell woofers. They sell ridiculously 21-inch subwoofers, yeah. And so next year, I'm going to get some of these in. These drivers.
Those are sick.
They are. And so we are going to build. We're going to use this horn right here, this 280 horn. Oh no, not this one. I lied. We're going to be using the 250 horn. That's for a 1 1/4 inch drive, or 1.4 inch. This is a 1 inch drive. We're going to be using this compression horn, and we're going to build. Are you familiar with JTR speakers?
No, I'm not.
All right, let me pull that up. Oh,
While you're pulling that up, I'm going to answer a question that I saw pop up. Which one was it? It was a statement from El Fuego, New Year's resolution: finish one project before starting another.
That's a great one.
And that's funny. I was walking through my garage and looking at a pile of stuff on my main workbench that I can't get to because of the pile of stuff. And I got one of those. I made a quick TikTok video from it. There's a Be a Man TikTok series, and that was the gist of it. Finish one project before starting another, or, be a man, or don't finish one project before starting another. Be a man. That is, how big is that speaker?
So I don't know the specific one, but they have a couple different ones, and they have one that uses 212s, which I think is this one, 212s, and then the horn-loaded driver. And we're going to be building something very similar to that for home theater. So that's going to be happening next year.
212s and a horn-loaded driver.
Yeah, and it's going to have a 90 by 90 dispersion because that's the dispersion, and we're going to be building those. Now, those, if you buy 2 of them from JTR, they're made to order. They're $7,000 for a pair, $3,500. So we're going to be trying to do it for closer to $1,000.
You see, the thing that I've concluded, especially with home audio, is that if you're going to do DIY audio, trying to reproduce a pair of $50 speakers, you're not going to do it. But trying to reproduce a pair of $7,000 speakers for $1,000, yeah, you can do that. That's the sweet spot in DIY where you're making that thing that can compete with a $7,000 tower exactly. From hell.
And so those things are going to go down to 35 hertz, F3 of 35 hertz. Should, or at least somewhere in that range, right around there. I they're going to be obviously designed for home theater, but I think that's the one I'm really excited about.
All right, here's a question for you. What's one video that you posted that you're kind of embarrassed and you wish you could take it back?
The one I took for you. No, I'm just kidding. That little clip. No, that I was embarrassed over the last year.
Yeah, what's one that you're like, maybe it flopped. Maybe you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
man, I was just putting a video out because I had to put one out this week. What's one you wish you hadn't have done? What's your biggest flop of the year?
I don't know if it was one that was. It was probably one of the biggest flop ones was the one for the recliners, the home theater recliners.
Oh yeah.
And it really wasn't that great. It could have been so much better, and it just wasn't. But part of the problem is they sent those to everyone, like a lot of people, and so everyone had the same videos out at the same time, and so no one really got a lot of views. So I don't know, but that was probably one. Yeah, I would say that was probably probably that one. Although and there were, what, that's it. But I'm going to ask a question after this.
Mullen Performance finished the Malibu setup and cabinets for the man cave. Oh, and build the man cave. Yeah, I'd like to have a man cave. That'd be nice. You had a question.
No. Ask yourself that. Answer yourself first.
Okay, so I was trying to experiment with using vinyl, and I built a small seal 10-inch subwoofer out of some scrap and some vinyl I picked up locally, and it looked like crap. Yeah. And I really, looking back, was like, yeah, I should have at least said it looked like crap when I built it and thrown it in the trash and made a big play of, well, sometimes it's crap and throwing it away. But I still haven't gotten back to that because I spent a lot of time trying to make that look nice and failed at it quite well. And so I'll try that again next year. I'll try to do a vinyl wrap again.
Oh yeah, I'm not great at vinyl wrap either. I know some people are really good at it, but it's just not for me. I forgot my question now. So
you forgot your question.
Yeah. What was your question? What was the most embarrassing video, right?
Yeah, like the flop or the one you're like, wow, I wish I had done that one. So for you, it was the chairs. That's kind of bad because those home theater chairs, those are pretty sweet.
They're really
I wish they would have done better.
Yeah, they're very nice. I mean, it is what it is. You find out what people like, what they don't like, and go. And like I said, I think everyone just got sent those chairs at the same time. Oh, that's what I was going to ask. What's a video that you did that you're disappointed in, like that didn't do as well as you thought it would?
That did not do as well as I thought. I got my whole list of videos. Okay, I'll tell you one that I wish would have done a whole lot better that did not do well at all. There were two that I did back to back right after I had my back surgery, and these were some product reviews, and one of them was of a cheap sound bar, and I really hoped that one would get a lot of traction because I needed people to know that this thing was absolute crap and they shouldn't be buying this sound bar. And there's a whole proliferation of these. They're the exact same size or configured slightly different. There's tons of these just little crappy sound bars. They're no better than the speakers on your TV. And I even noticed on my Amazon affiliate feed, someone had bought one and I got a commission on it. And it's like, no, you were supposed to not buy that. No, you missed the part of the video.
Don't you know when you say don't buy this, someone's going to buy it?
And the thing about that is I had a back and forth with the company, and they were condescending. I could show the emails, but I won't. And I said, look, you're lying. You're saying that it's this and it's not what you're saying it is. And they're like, oh no, we've been doing this for years. We know what we're doing. We wouldn't lie to you. It's like, I'm looking at it. You're lying to me.
It's like, what is that? Christmas? Is it Christmas Vacation or no? It's the other vacation one, not Christmas, but it's like the one where they go to the
Wally
like
World,
California, Wally World. Yeah,
the family vacation. National Lampoon's Vacation.
And and he goes to go pick up the car, and it's completely different car than what he ordered. He's like, what?
Right,
yeah. Don't give me your giant home theater subwoofer. Okay. What did he say? Mine is to play around some basic ciders and make custom panels. Right. So I wonder if he means basic like bass shakers, or if he means like the actual like tactile transducers, where they're like the exciters that actually are full range.
So I've got some of those tactile transducers, and I've made some speakers with those back before I started my channel. I'm sorry, I just saw this comment to bring it up. Bobby Burger says he bought it. No, send it back, man. Send it back. I don't want the commission on that damn thing. Send it back. But I made some speakers with the tactile transducers, and I've got a spare set sitting around and the foam to make them. And I've been meaning to get around to making them because they're such an easy one to.
Those are the world's best speakers, right?
And they're not the world's best speakers, but they sure are the easiest speaker. You don't need any tools. You just stick these things on there and you got a speaker.
Yeah. And I made a completely waterproof speaker out of that a couple years ago, where basically you put it inside one of those like waterproof boxes that you get from Harbor Freight. And I would stick it in there with a Bluetooth amplifier and just throw it in the pool when we were having pool parties. It's kind of cool too, because when the bass would hit, you would see like bass waves around it. It'd be like shaking the water. But I will say, oh, go ahead.
You can put those things on anything. Some things sound better than others, but you can turn literally anything into a speaker.
Yeah. So I will say my video that I was surprised at that didn't do as good as I thought it would was, and you said the same thing to me, that you thought it would do better. Maybe I just need to change the I don't know,
title and thumbnail.
Picture or thumbnail or what. Yeah. But it's the one on the BSA 200 for the bass shaker.
Oh yeah.
Remember when the kids are sitting on the couch and the bass hits and the kids jump and scream?
That one didn't do well?
No, I think to date it only has 15,000 views or something on it. And that's like for its lifetime of the video.
I had a video about using line output converter in different ways. What was it exactly? I've got a slightly older video where I used a line output converter to make a DIY RTA. Beyond that, I don't think I've done anything with line output converters.
Well, it wasn't me.
No. Subaru. Yeah.
Sure. We'll go with sure. I would like to upgrade my audio system in one of my Lincolns just for fun. You know what? They have a good setup as well. One of the things I like about them is the rear pillars, you know, like because it's an SUV, the rear pillars actually have tweeters pointed towards the front for the you know, for the drivers and everything. It's nice. They did a good job.
Tweeters pointed towards the front from the back.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
Oh, that's great. Like I said, it's one of the better systems that I've heard on a car. But you know who made that system was THX. THX brought the whole car into like a garage, and they tested different things like driving down the road, not driving down the road, and they tested it from different positions. And it was a big deal when it came out. I'm sure by nowadays on some standards it's been passed up quite a bit, but you know, it's also, I don't know what year is that car. 2008, I think. So it's old. So it's like 13 years old.
I don't know. My truck's an 04. So as long as it starts and drives, I'm going to keep going. So
oh, I agree. Yeah.
It's fun to read these comments as people talk about the cool things they've done. Notorious RVH says that he had some bass shakers under the front seats of an RX-7. That's good. No subs in the hardly any room for subs in an RX-7.
Yeah.
And 25 Hertz to Life wants us to change the names of our channels. Justin, the DIY Bass God. Wait, no, Bass God.
No, I think you had it right the first time. The Bass Pinto. He wants me to get a Pinto and put my car audio in it. Hey, RVH, I'll tell you this, man. I actually added bass shakers to my racing simulator, and it's really cool. It's really neat. I have not put any on the seat yet, but I'm going to. I'm going to put one on the back of the seat, like facing in your back, and then one on the butt.
The true voice of reason had some Kraco 6x9 triax with Sparkomatic booster amp in his 72 four-door Dart. Awesome.
So let me ask you a question. Is there any parts that you want to get your hands on next year, or anything that you want to get your hands on that you haven't?
Well, I really need to completely rebuild the system in my truck. It's time to completely rebuild it. I've been meaning to make a fiberglass under seat subwoofer enclosure, but I don't think I'm ever going to get around to that. And I really would like to just rebuild the whole thing. I'd like to rebuild the center console and put some amps in the center console so I can just really load up the area underneath the back with subs. And I'm really thinking it'd be fun to take the back seat out and just use it as a test bench, get some big batteries in a big alternator. And so I would really like to do some more major upgrades to the truck. That's, if I could, as far as what I'd like to have, I'd love to have a bigger and better DSP. I've outgrown the Dayton Audio DSP. I need at least 2 more channels. And so I've been drooling over DSPs lately, trying to figure out which one I wanted to buy. But
direct left. A lot of people responded afterwards and they said a different one. I can't think of the name of it. I don't know if you caught that after the video last week.
I did not.
I'll look it up, what they said, because I can't remember the name of it, because I know the name, I just can't think of it. You know how it is.
Get the Headway lithium. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the lithium thing. It seems to me that you don't need a very big lithium battery. You just need something with a high discharge rate. And so I'm trying to figure out how that works and what I should go for.
That's a good question. Let's see. Engagement audience. It said, I don't know. I can't find it. When I find it, I'll tell you. But I would like to get a receiver with Dirac Live. I think one of those Onkios or one of those Pioneer Leads. I doubt I'll get it this year, though. I just have too many other things I need to be doing. So I am most likely, if I get anything this year, it'll probably be a new projector.
New projector.
Most
I don't know that I have room for a bigger television, so I'm probably not going to upgrade the TV until it goes out. It'll be dead before I give up on it. But it's always nice to have a bigger TV, right?
Yeah, oh, sure. I think so.
Flexin 500 says, lithium, you want to stick around 10C on stock voltage level charging. The Titan 8s are like 30C, but they discharge pretty quickly. I was on Amazon the other day and found some really inexpensive lithium batteries that are designed for someone who's got like a solar panel and trying to use it to power their house. And they were 1C. And it's like, I don't think that's what we need.
So I found it. It was a Helix DSP. People were
Helix,
saying. Yeah,
yes.
There's Dev Null saying it. Yeah, and he said it, and I was still looking, and so yep. Oh, hey, Hi-Fi Vega, nice to see you, man.
Good.
Yeah, so Helix DSP. I don't know if
I've
you're
heard of
familiar
Helix.
With, yeah, I have too, but I'm pretty sure they're mainly just car audio, right?
Yeah, Helix has. I think they've got a device that you can like stick on your dash and control the DSP, and has a nice LCD screen on it. Helix is not cheap from what I gather, though, which is why I like the mini DSP, because they can kind of give you the best. I think they're the best bang for the buck out there.
You think so?
I think Helix has one called the DSP Mini, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to find the Helix DSP 3, and I don't even see it anywhere. I'm sure it's somewhere, but I don't see the price on it. But I'm sure it's like what you said. I feel like when you get quality, sometimes like it's actually worth the price, but there is always that, point of diminishing returns, right? When is it too little?
Right. Dev Null's got it. Yeah, Helix has one called the Mini, and then they have the Director is the control box. That the Helix Director, that's what it's called, and that's nice. That's I'm pretty sure that Rob in his video where he went to the state finals, sound quality finals, has some footage of a car that had one of those Directors in it. Is that right, Rob? Did you get a chance to get one of those on video? I think so.
And I think so. The Helix DSP.3 is $750, what I can find at least.
Okay.
So I don't know, or I found another one with 700, but somewhere in that. Right? And now I found one for 1,100. I don't know, man. Jeez.
Hertz H8, is that a DSP?
I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that one. They almost all run Helix, he said.
Right. A lot of the sound quality competition, the Helix is the way to go, apparently.
So here's the thing that I hate about competitions a lot of times. Competitions, I hate to say it, but I feel like competition, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but almost all competitions, oh, that makes sense, is that they're almost like a beauty pageant to a certain degree, in the essence that like you have to have certain brands, certain names, certain things in there, and if you have those, then you have a chance of winning. But without those, it's like looked down on. Does that, you know what I'm saying?
It's interesting because I really think you're right. I think that, a judge might think that they're unbiased, but if they see a bunch of high end gear, I think it might kind of trick their ears a little bit.
Yeah. It's like, it's almost like they all need to be blindfolded and just go in and listen, before, so they can't see anything. Cause it would be interesting to find out, that car with all the Boss speakers. Just kidding.
Here's something that I think would be cool to do, and I didn't have I don't have time to do it. High Five Vegas says you're kind of right, sadly. Something I wish I could do. I would never have time to do it. It would be a pretty big undertaking. I'd like to take a car with a stock radio, whether it's a nice car with a nice stock radio or something old that's not special, just has a stock radio, and take it to a sound off and do a sound quality test and see where it scores. And then, swap out the head unit, add some speakers, then go back, then add some subwoofers and then go back, and then add a DSP and tune it and then go back and just see incrementally how you can make changes. I think that'd be a fun video series.
What would be interesting is if it started going backwards. You were here and now you're way down here. You know what? I believe that could happen, especially if someone buys a DSP and doesn't really know how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that.
Matt Stark says that's why SPL is funner and SPL sensor is not subjective. That's exactly right. The number on the screen is the number.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I mean, you have the same thing with home audio too, right? Like someone sees a set of speakers that look nice or have a name brand on it, and they say, oh, these sound great. And then they get another one that, may not be. And they're like, oh yeah, these sound okay. It's kind of.
So, and speaking of home audio and audio contest, when is Dayton Audio, when's Parts Express going to bring back the Midwest Audio Fest? Are they going to do that this year?
I have no idea. I guess you'd have to talk to them. I haven't talked to them about it. I hope so. They were going to do it last year, but they just, unfortunately weren't able to because of, once again, COVID. Like, if I remember correctly, COVID all of a sudden ramped back up right around during that time, and then they just had to cancel it. So I'm hoping so. If they do, I'm going to try to be there. I like to go to that.
When do they usually do it? Do you know what month?
I think it's July or something like that, but I don't remember.
So yes, this is the official kicker one that Kip sent out to me. So I appreciate Kip sending those out. It's always nice to get some swag from somebody.
Yeah.
Shangri-La says Harman makes good stuff. Harman has a lot of different brands that you don't realize are Harman. I think JBL is Harman. Is that correct?
Oh, there's so many. Well, I think like Denon is Harman. I mean, there's so many companies that are Harman now.
Yeah. And I know one thing that's interesting, JBL, and it's been a few years, actually made something that's kind of like the Kicker Key. It was a self-tuning DSP. And so it's interesting. We see that in home audio. We see it now with the Kicker Key technology, but it's not a new thing. It's been around for a while. And Harman has had some, one of the, I forget if it was Steel or Small, probably the younger one, actually worked for Harman for a while. The same time the guy who started Audio Frog worked for him.
Okay, so I was wrong. They don't own them, but they own Harman Kardon, JBL, AKG, Infinity, JBL Synthesis, Lexicon, Mark Levinson, Revel, Crown, DBX, Digitech, Lexicon, AMX. I mean, the list goes on. They own like so many people.
You can take JBL
I didn't
and
realize they
Infinity.
own Crown though.
Yeah, they own Crown.
Yeah, I didn't
you
know
can
that.
take JBL and Infinity car speakers, like their component sets, and put them side by side, and they have the same specs and just different colors. It's
So this Harman is a Samsung company. I didn't realize that either. Did you know that?
Say again. I missed that.
Harman is a Samsung company.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. A
Everything.
subsidiary of Samsung Electronics.
Samsung is huge. I actually have a coworker who's originally from South Korea, and he worked for Samsung, and he's a food scientist. And so they actually produce food products in South Korea.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's a subsidiary of Samsung, right? And I was talking to him about, oh yeah, Samsung, Samsung, the phones. Yeah, the phones, every piece of electronics you own, right?
So
yeah.
DEI, which is the one I always think about, and this is what I think is so funny, is DEI Holdings owns Marantz and Denon and Polk Audio and Bowers and Wilkins and Boston Acoustics and Definitive Technology.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's why I always say, like, there's only like 2 manufacturers of like home theater receivers now, because, like DEI owns half of them and another company owns the other half. Whoever owns Pioneer now, I can't think of who that is. It's Onkyo, whoever owns Onkyo.
Right. It's like that in everything, right? That's not just an audio thing. If you go to the store and you buy some chicken, there's maybe 3 or 4 companies that process that chicken. And so there's a Tyson facility near you. I don't remember the brand name of the chicken. It's Tyson's chicken.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Well, it's Hi-Fi Vega's last video on his pliers, right?
Yeah. They look pretty same to me.
Yeah. The only thing that I wondered about that, which I don't know, is if there was a way to test the grade of steel, because steel is graded differently. So maybe, for example, the Snap-on would last longer because they're a higher grade of steel. But I think they're probably made in the same factory and just rebranded.
And I mean, I don't like to talk trash about any particular brand or anything like that, but I really think that a lot of the tool truck tools are just expensive for the sake of being expensive. I think there was a day when a mechanic couldn't get the tools once the tool truck came by and they had a market corner, but they don't now, and it's all the same stuff.
Well, and I think also, like what you said, or no, actually it wasn't what Hi-Fi Vega said in his video, is there is that value that you have as far as getting your warranty, and when the guy comes you can just swap it out, you don't have to go somewhere, and that really does have some value to you if you don't have to go out all the time and go get it, because I don't like to always go out if I don't need to.
Right. I don't know, as I get older, I like leaving the house less and less.
It's true. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. Stanley and Craftsman they went way downhill, man. Craftsman used to be like the best wrenches you could buy, man. Those things were awesome.
Oh, I mean, Craftsman, I mean, the whole thing just kind of fell apart. The whole Sears just completely fell apart, right? I mean, I can't believe this is a company that's been around for a century. And if you'd have told me 20 years ago that Sears is going to go out of business in a few years just from mismanagement, not even from competition, just because it's going to get a new manager and they're going to run it to the ground, I would have thought that was crazy.
So Brian Townsend said that Blue Point is actually a Snap-on lesser brand and not made by Snap-on. So that's interesting. I don't know all that. And that's always one of those confusing things. Like whenever you're buying tools or even audio equipment or something, is that they have different brands or levels, right? And then you're always like, oh, I have like Klipsch, for example. Someone will say, I have Klipsch speakers. And you're like, oh, cool. Which ones do you have? Well, there's the Synergy line, and then, and then they have, their Gold Cone line, which I can't even think of what it's called right now. I'm just having one of those nights where I'm having a brain fog for whatever reason. But, and so there's different lines of how good they are or how good they aren't. Definitive had like their bipolar ones, which are really good. And then they have these other ones that are like non-powered versions, which are significantly cheaper.
Right. I was reading the chat and trying to pay attention and think at the same time, but I can't do 3 things at once.
Yeah.
Oh, a few weeks ago, Sonic Electronics sent me out one of their Belva boxes. Belva is their kind of low-end brand. And I took that amplifier off, and just the research I did, just a little bit of Googling, that's an MTX product. I don't know if the speakers are MTX or not, but the amplifier looks like MTX uses it in Europe and some other places. So, I mean, all this stuff gets recycled.
Oh, yeah. And I will say this, Dodgy Brothers Engineering said, hey, I have some Klipsch speakers, and I'm sorry to hear that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with Klipsch. I have Klipsch speakers still, and I ran Klipsch speakers for many, many years in my home theater. So there's nothing wrong with Klipsch. That is one of those speakers that is probably the either the most loved or most hated speaker of like all time, though, I feel like. Belva equals new urban audio.
New Urban. I'm not familiar with Urban Audio. I missed that one. I'm assuming it was a low end brand. Harbor Freight has Hercules, Bauer, Admiral, and whatever the other one is, right? I don't know. I kind of feel like in their handheld tools, Harbor Freight just has too many different tool lines, and none of them are worth getting, in my opinion. I've got the Hercules power tools, and I got a few of them. They're like, yeah, so what?
Yeah, I don't usually use their power tools, but like their air spray paint, like spray gun, is not bad for $20. I mean, there's things that they have that are good and things they don't have. Like their toolboxes are usually pretty nice, I think, for the price. Their welder, I just bought one of their welders, which is really good for the price.
Dodgy Brother says harsh to his ears. I'm assuming he's talking about the
Klipsch. And he's right. That's what a lot of people don't like about those Klipsch speakers. And you're right. Klipsch has a lot of issues sometimes with their speakers, but some of it is they like those those that are sensitive ears don't like Klipsch. I'm one of them. I don't love Klipsch because I have sensitive ears too.
So Urban Audio apparently was from the Ames department store. No, the Ames department store. I don't remember that one. Where were they located primarily? Were they weren't in the South?
Ames. I wonder if it's Ames, Iowa.
Could be. Hey, El Fuego, thank you for the $5 super chat. Super chats are always appreciated. And I'm looking forward to Sound Advice in 2022 as well. I'd like to do another build off.
Oh, it's Connecticut. Connecticut. Connecticut, yeah. And Massachusetts, yeah. Oh, and it was in New York State. So Northeast, I guess. Yeah.
RVH is a fan of his Polk Audio. At one point, all my car speakers were Polk Audio, the subs and the coaxials I had in the door. I was happy with them. I thought they were good. I thought the tweeters were a little bit bright.
I think Hi-Fi Vega is right on, though. He says the number one love-hate are Bose and Klipsch. And he's right. I mean, why do you one of the reasons why I called that better than Bose, was because I know a lot of people love looking up Bose, whether they love them or hate them. And it's true. Count me in for the next build off. What are we building? We can't build anything unless we're building Justin a new back.
I'll take one.
Yeah, not until Justin's back gets better. We need to do I still think we should do a subwoofer build off where the enclosure is what is being, graded on.
You mean like how it looks, or
the coolest enclosure, the coolest looking enclosure. Okay. Yeah, not
because you can't do a sound comparison over the internet, so it's got to be all looks, right?
Well, and if we all use the same subwoofer, it doesn't really matter, because we're all gonna just tune it a little differently. Who cares? Because I'm gonna tune it probably lower than you're gonna tune it. Well, although you may not. We're definitely gonna tune it lower than what if Hi-Fi Vega's in on it, he'll tune it like to 46 hertz.
Bose are great if you replace almost everything with better stuff. Oh, that's harsh.
So it's interesting what DTW 1980 said, because he says Bose is too flat. So Bose will they will sue people if they try to if you try to put out a frequency response graph, they don't want it out. They don't. And what you'll find with a lot of their speakers, I'm not gonna say all of them because that's just not true, but a lot of them after 10K, there's nothing there. It's like 10K, boom, especially their little cubes and stuff, 10K and gone. So
it's just like a little 2 or 3 inch driver, and it can't handle anything above 10,000 kilohertz.
Pretty much, yeah. So when he says it's too flat, I think most people there's just no high end up there, and that's why people say no highs, no lows must be Bose, and that's true. They're really good in the mid range section because that's pretty much all they play. And then there's that, and then Klipsch is too bright. And once again, I agree. Klipsch gives horn loaded speakers a bad name, I think, a lot of times. if you're sensitive, like a lot of us are.
All right. So here's a question for you. What are some tools that you acquired in 2021 that you,
Mhm.
wow, I wish I would have gotten that sooner. Do you have any favorite tool of 2021?
CNC.
CNC machine.
In my CNC. I mean, that's definitely my favorite one. And then although I haven't used it yet, my welder is going to be one of my new favorites too. I'm really looking forward to learning how to weld and doing some cool things with the welder.
Awesome.
What about you?
Well, I picked up several, and I think the one that I've gotten the most use out of has been my DATs. I've used it in pretty much every build that I've made. If I wasn't filming, I probably wouldn't use the DATs, but I'm building things and filming them. And, you've got to show in the video what the thing sounds like. What better way than to say, well, we know the tuning frequency now. There it is.
And that's the one thing for $130, like DATs is just, you have to get it. Like, if it was like 200 or more, then it'd be like, I don't know. But at $130, I just feel like it's just too valuable not to have in your toolbox.
I think the only downside of the DATs is you need a computer to use it. Like there's an SMD device where you can move a little dial and find the tuning frequency just by plugging it in, tuning the dial. And, that's does the same thing. It's more expensive, but the advantage is you don't need a computer to plug it into. It's a standalone tool.
Yeah, but that can't be very good. I can't. Yeah, David and I were talking about. Yeah, I hope you do get that soon. I think that is true. I don't know anyone that's been upset when they bought a DATS. Like, because as long as you know what you're getting, like it just does what it says it's supposed to do. And the new way that they built it, which I think I have. No,
very easy to use, very easy to calibrate.
And if anything breaks on it, you can replace. I mean, unless something happens inside the box, but anything else, like you can replace the alligator leads now because they made it very easy to replace those. You can replace the USB cable. So I don't know. I think it's cool. Wish it was Android and iOS capable. What? How would you plug it up to your phone though? Like Bluetooth?
Through the port on the phone, I guess, right?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you'd have to use like a USB-C, some kind.
Some Craig stuff. Yeah, there's tons of Craig jigs that are good to have. I've seen your welds. I'm getting you a grinder for Christmas. I've never welded anything in my life, so.
I mean, oh, you know what? I did get a grinder for this year, and I actually really like it. That is actually another tool that I got, but I haven't used it on the channel. I used it mainly with a cutoff wheel and cut some stuff off on my go-kart.
Well, I'm looking at the clock, and we have been at it for an hour. And we do try to keep these things short. A couple of weeks ago, when Kip joined us, we went for almost 2 hours. So we need to make up for that and go ahead and Nick, do you have anything else you want to add, or are you ready to wrap it up tonight?
You know what? Yeah. I do have one thing to add because a question was asked earlier and I never got back to it. The question was asked about when I'm going to get to the passive dynos. I'm going to try to get to it before the end of the year. The passive radiator version. The plans are already out there. I just don't have the video out yet. This week, unless something crazy happens, hopefully by Sunday, I'm going to try to get out the Cinema 10 video, which I've been trying to get out for a while. So that should be out hopefully by Sunday. So Nick and Andy need to do a go-kart race. I need to lose about 100 pounds before we do that. Can I have someone lighter do it for me? And so I'm gonna be doing. I forgot what it. So that's gonna be coming out. So that'll be pretty cool. Those are gonna be designed for rear surrounds, and they're very skinny, very very skinny. They're only 8 inches deep, and they have a 10-inch woofer and a compression driver in it. So,
all right. Well, the big thing I've got coming out is the video with the Sundown audio preloaded enclosure and the JP8 amplifier. So that'll come out hopefully Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. We'll see how it goes.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, why don't we wish everyone a Merry Christmas since we won't see them, and a Happy New
Merry Christmas, everybody, and Happy New Year.
Yeah.
We will see you in January. And I'm going to hit end broadcast, and I am out.
We're out.